So in this video, I'm going to give 7 different examples of what you can do with the Notion automations. What we're going to talk about in this video are these 7 elements on how to use automations in a very creative way. To show off these automations, I'm going to be using a template I've been creating for the last couple months. If you want access to the beta version of this template, you can at the link below. So to get started, let's do the first one, which is updating the name depending on the properties that you have with it. So got a task open, and one thing that may be different is this emoji in front. This is a simple text emoji, but we're able to make some new changes and highlights from it. So I'm going to change the status to do. And what's going to happen, that emoji is going to change now to a pen, because right now it's pinned. Now let's take away the pen. And what's going to happen is going to change to a blue circle. The reason why? This priority is 1, blue, and it's deep work. And if I made it into a do now, it'll be a green circle. To me, this has been one of the best features I've implemented in the Notion system. It's easy to set up when you know what to do. This particular one for actions, I've made it very powerful. Put it this way. If I change to yes, I want to add tracking to the name, and I start tracking right now, what you're going to see is now we're going to have the tracking data in the name itself as well. First, tracking data changes right here, and we've done 0 minutes of work. But I can actually add this in. It won't update automatically every single minute, but once I complete the task, it'll show me how long it took me to do it. And if it's reoccurring, then how many times I've actually completed it as well. It does the sessions too, which we'll talk about that later. Again, this one's complicated. Just doing the numbers and this long stream without deleting everything else, it took a little tinkering. But to show the simpler one, let's look into the notes area. This does the same thing, just to show. I'm going to make it into, it's a writing task now, which is where the pen came from. And this one, simply, it changed to the pen. Awesome. Because this is the status is the emoji itself, I put the status first, plus a little space, the note title, and then replace the emoji, just so it doesn't accumulate more emojis as you replace the name. It has to be taken away too. If you didn't want the status to be the emoji, you can make another formula where you actually, when the status is changed, it will be this emoji. And then that first property would just be that formula. If you want to see a step-by-step video, I would be happy to create that in the future. In this, I'm just going to show examples instead of the details of how to build them. You can also use this technique to auto-update your names. Let's say this question, it shouldn't be a part of the final exam. It actually should be a part of this one, which it just moved. And let's take away that from final exam. Well, now, since I changed everything of it, it now changed the name to be for this quiz exam. And changing it back, it will make it into, again, the final exam question. Now let's talk about the second one, changing properties from the name titles. One of the things I like about other programs like TickTick and Todoist, you can just type in the date that you want, and then it will automatically say this is the due date. Well, we now can do the same thing in Notion. Let's say I wanted to practice, and I'm going to practice tomorrow. It will take away tomorrow and automatically make that a tomorrow task. So let's say I am unsubscribing from Netflix. 4 months from now. If I just type in 4 months, it should go to, yep, from there. So I can also say like assign homework for my classes. I'm going to say not tomorrow, but I'm going to say Friday, which is tomorrow. But then I'm going to do another one of grade quizzes next Friday. So yep, that did tomorrow, same as that one. And this should do 0, 10. Yep, there we go. And takes all of them away, so it's a full reset. So, to me, super cool. Next, we're going to take a look at tags. For me, tags are pretty important to divide up the work I personally have in every facet that I need. For projects in particular, I have a pretty busy life that's divided in many different sectors. So my concerts, I teach classes, I do multi-track projects, and I write music too. So having not just a giant list of all the projects, but being able to divide them up is pretty useful, honestly. I personally like having a whole database related to my projects lists that help me divide up the tags. I've tried 2 different versions. I've tried where there's a full tags database for every single one of my databases. And then I've done individual tagged databases that are specific to each list that I have. As an example, my actions list will have a database specific for that one for the tags. My projects will have another database that is specific to the projects list. There are pros and cons for both of them, and I think having a little bit of a hybrid is important. So what I've done, I'm just going to make a new tag here. For this case with the name updating, I have to include these 2 properties. So it's O1, and what I'm going to call this, let's call this workouts. And I'm going to call this, we're going to go all the way up to X. So if I create something new in here, it will have an automatic project tag of workouts. And just to show this incredibly clear, it created another page in my all tags system. So now I have that tag in my all tag system automatically. And if I do something like this, going back to the workouts, I'm going to change this to, let's just call it work. And I'm going to change this now to an F. And I can find it here. And it changed the names exactly. For me, this is super helpful. So I can literally go to my, over here, blueprints, tags page. And here are all my tags, and I can see it's included there. And it's linked up, and I can clearly see here is my actual workout. It gives me a chance to organize this a little bit more effectively, and I can actually change the names here, and they will automatically update into each of the other databases as well. So they will cross and talk to each other. This makes for a pretty manageable tagging system to me. So the next one is a true inbox system. Something where I personally experimented a lot of how to make this effective for Notion. And ultimately, I thought just a database that shows all of the new elements that are in is very important. So ultimately, what I came up with is this database that shows when there are new entries that come in. Let's say I wanted to add in another one up here. This is actually TickTick and it's widget. And I just write something simple. Let's call it develop practice routine. There. And I got that one going. But I'm working on this project on the side. and I want to develop some new tasks for it. So I'm going to input some new ones. Now they're added in, including the one that we have from TickTick, and they're all in the quick actions input. But let's say I do this, and they're all gone now. Well, I can still see 7 actions here. This works kind of like an inbox too, but for me, this is more for quick things. I need to enter it in fast, but I can't process it right now. I just need to go in, and I can acknowledge it, but they stay in inbox. That's what the other one means. Or I can make a new one here called Pet My Dog. Sure. I can add it directly to my system, as in it's a to-do. But in here, I'm like, I need some more time to think about this. Ta-da! It's gone from the quick side. And I'll show something with that later. But now it adds 8 new actions here, and if I open this up, ta-da! It now has all these actions there in a nice formed list. So the next thing I'm going to show is an auto-relate system. So I'm going to show it through my sticky notes. The sticky notes, basically, this is a database that's connected to every other one that shows reminders for me. So let's say I search up, integrate this, put that there. And now all of these should come up. Yep, all the actions that are associated with this project are now associated with this sticky note. So just looking at this super quickly. Yep, these are literally all of the things associated with this specific project. And now I can find them in the sticky note, and which can make it super fast. Oh, look, and the area is already associated with this sticky note too. Got 2 more left. The next one is the time tracking system. I like to edit videos like this as I go through to be sure everything I said is mostly comprehensible. We'll see how effective it was. Let's see how long it took me to do this one task. Oh, I've been working for about 56 minutes. If you remember the first action that we did, it's there. We've been tracking it this whole time. So as soon as I make it active, then it will track it. But let's say I want a brand new action. I'm going to say, oh, pet my dog. So I'm going to make this active now, which I'm going to drag, drop there. I can do it as a button by pressing this. It's going to take away the previous task and make that now not active. And up here, it just made that log to say, okay, you stopped this session, took you 57 minutes. You started this at 3:28 and you ended at 4:25. Reasons why I say this is time logging rather than time tracking. You are easily logging your progress going forward. I can end this task, which here I can do in multiple different areas. I can end with this E button. Takes it away, it's not active, and it will log that time. Barely a minute for that. And then when I finish a task too, so there it's logged. I can just press end here and it will log that too. But I'm going to make that active one more time. I have done one session. I'm in session 2. And at this point, this one is the one I'm tracking. This is the one that has been finished. I've done 1. And today's entries ended 1, started another. And as soon as I click done petting my dog, it will do, I've done 2 sessions of this, and I have done it for a total of 2 minutes. Yep, 2 sessions for 2 minutes. And it's all logged up here. This view only shows today's tracking. It won't show the full one, but I can go to the full database to show that. The way that this works, you need another database that actually does the logging, and then a pretty complex automation to start a new task and another one and add the right properties to find it effectively. It took a good bit of time to perfect it. It looks something like this just to activate it. And it will actually automatically make the project active too. And where this is super effective is when you have a reoccurring task. So let's say I'm gonna warm up my flow routine. I put it in here. This will be active, and then the project is associated will also be active too. So that'll appear. So if you want to go to either view, you can. And then when you come here, you can see the full log of all my practicing, which has been a little bit off, at least with Notion updating. So, and if I end the task and I'll say, sure, I've warmed up fully for 1 minute. This will come back to here as tomorrow. And that time is logged. So I don't have to start, stop, or make reoccurring tasks each time. I can keep it with just this flow routine. You see, 14 sessions, 27 are complete, 5.7 hours, and today's entries, ta-da. So very effective. Again, if you want to see a tutorial for this, let me know. Finally, the very last thing is now what we can do, if we have a certain property, like I'm going to take these away for a second. You can update full databases just with a click of one button now. So if you click on this, full updates, you now can update all the databases that are associated with this button automatically. So I'm going to click it, and quick actions, everything I made for all those times came up automatically. So now everything here is updated. And let's say if you saw from before, it didn't have alt and boxes, now they do. So if you have one checkbox, in this case, an edit box for me, if I click this button, it unchecks it. And when that happens, it's edited so then an automation can occur. So it's a fail-safe to edit a whole bunch of databases at the same time. If all else fails and you are wondering if you have any other looming inbox items, then you can press the button and there it will appear for the inbox. So this has been a treat for me to experiment and see all the possibilities that you can use with Notion. I really do think a lot of these features put Notion in a brand new category once you know what it is capable of. So if you want this template, or at least the beta version of it, you can find it in the link below. And if you want to see more videos, comment down below what you want to see with Notion. I'm experimenting, seeing how this video series could work or what videos with Notion look like. For now, I'll leave it there, and happy creating!